Anybody knows Pratham? Okay. What is Pratham? India's first supercomputer. Yes. What else? Any other definition? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, the satellite. The satellite which was launched by IITB students. IITB students and not the company. Okay. So I would like to introduce you some of the project managers and implementers of this Pratham team, the satellite by students of IIT Bombay. Okay. Let me call upon ladies first. Manvi, Dhawan. Okay, Manvi, a little bit of introduction about you. She's already into a startup. Okay, she was the project manager, right, of this particular. Yeah, please introduction of you.
Hello, uh, I'm audible, right? Uh, I'm Manvi Dhawan. I was the project manager of Pratham when the Pratham was launched, and I was the only girl project manager in the entire Pratham life. So, af- currently, I am working on my own startup. I have been with Tushar and Ashtesh on the aerospace startup. I started with that. And after that, I found my own company on the renewable energy sector. So, we are trying to build portable devices for our Indian Army soldiers because they need it. They are serving our country at the border frontline areas in a very harsh environment. So, we are developing devices for them. So, this is what I'm doing. Uh, uh, Other than that, we will discuss in when we discuss the journey of Pratham. But the most important thing is when I joined Pratham team, I was in my second year, and I have never expected to be a co-team member, and then I will grow up to a project manager, and I haven't ever thought of becoming a co-founder of a company. So I've been from a very small place, and even today my parents don't believe that I'm running my own company. So that's my.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Manvi. You can take your seat there. Okay, and then I call upon Tushar Jadhav. Which place you are from, Tushar? Nasik. Okay, a Nasik boy, Tushar Jadhav. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, hi. So, so hi Tushar Jadhav. I joined IT and then started working this thing. Same thing. Never believed that I will be here running company. It's just this project that took us here, and then building something about this about the startup. Will come to you what we are doing. We are also me and Ashtesh working together. So this has been pretty much a life. This has been pretty much a life for us when we were in IIT, and quite a long time after that, and why it meant so much and how it has shaped our future. We'll discuss in the subsequent 1 hour, hopefully. Thank you.
Okay, and you're also running your own startup, right?
Yes, we are also, me and Ashtesh, we are together running one startup. It's related to satellite propulsion. So the satellite bonanza is still continuing. So we are building a green propulsion system for the satellites, uh, working with the IIT Bombay as a research partner, and then the ISRO as the supporting collaborating agency.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. We are talking a lot about satellite. We would like to understand from these guys what satellite is. Maybe you can also take your seat or you can roam around. That's okay, it's informal. And I would like to call upon Ashtesh Kumar. But he's not the project manager, right? Okay. So, yes, please.
Hello everyone, I am Ashtesh Kumar and I was the head for onboard computer which goes on to the satellite. We will discuss what it does. And so I joined Pratham in my first year. So I'm basically from mechanical engineering, but I was recruited in Pratham for electrical subsystem. So 4 works I've been responsible for developing the software and the hardware of the Pratham. And right now I'm working with Tushar on propulsion for satellites.
Awesome. Okay. So, the very first question I have is what is satellite? Yeah? Can you
Yeah.
please show us something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why
okay.
not?
Anybody understand satellite better than them?
Yeah, anyone knows what satellite is?
What satellite is?
I'm just guessing. Just quick. Yeah.
Awesome.
Shoot.
Awesome. Okay, Kishore.
Shout. Awesome.
Oh, Thank you so much. Yeah, so you come handy. Maybe you can ask some questions to him anytime.
Yeah, sure,
please.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, satellites primarily two types. One is for the imaging or for the remote sensing, for the land development or the forestation or irrigation, such applications. And other type of satellites are called geosynchronous satellites, which rotate along with the Earth and constantly monitoring a fixed spot on the Earth. So these kind of satellites primarily used for the weather monitoring and other things, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
There is one third interesting area that is coming up, and we work is world is working on it, and that's where our startup comes. So everyone is trying to give the internet to the 3.5 billion people who don't have internet, and then the satellite people are trying drones and satellites and balloons. Google Loon is one of this. So many companies, including SpaceX and Boeing, are putting satellites on there up there. Like the GPS constellation, you will have a satellite constellation for internet, and like on the ground station, what like your DTH, you will have a satellite internet connection on the remote area, where you don't need 1 Gbps data rate and very high bandwidth. So that's where the satellite bonanza, the satellite picture comes into the picture. That's where our market comes into the picture, the internet satellite. Okay. So I'll show you what we did. Our satellite was something different. So satellite can be used for many atmosphere study, taking the picture as he mentioned, the communication and all those things. So I'll show you
Yeah.
our satellite.
Just an addition, guys. This is not just a satellite class, or it's not a typical engineering class altogether. We'll just start up with their satellite definition, and we'll also understand what was their feeling when actually ISRO launched their satellite or something like that. And then we'll go into some interesting areas of this particular project. Okay, so we'll go into that agility or project management or people management or that definition of what a project is, kind of, Okay, so please don't think as if it is a technical class. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
I'm just giving you a feel that
Yeah.
whatever we are saying, we know few stuff because of by throwing up some big words.
Yeah.
As simple. So this is a satellite. You can see it's a 26 centimeter cube. Okay. These are antennas. Then there is a GPS sitting on the top. The satellite is exactly weighing around 10 kg. It is just before it is shipped to from Bangalore to the Sriharikota, where it actually put it on the PSLV and then put it into the space. So the purpose, the what we call a payload of a satellite, was to measure ionosphere, total electron count in the ionosphere using Faraday rotation method. That data is useful for scientific purposes, and then GPS correction. Don't need to worry about some people take care of that. So our job was to build the satellite and then give the data to the scientist, and then they will take care of those things. So this is basically the satellite. You can see this. These are the solar panel. The golden thing is to protect the satellite from heat. It should not. The outside is extremely hot or extremely cold. When extremely hot is when it is facing the sun, and extremely cold when it is not facing the sun. So satellite roams around Earth at 7.6 kilometer per second. Can you imagine kilometer per second, 7.6 kilometer per second at 800 kilometer height from the surface? And it has to go there through the rocket. So the amount of technical challenge, you can see it is facing at least 10 times the gravitational force that currently we are facing, and not just the gravitational force. It's the vibration force, it's the shock, and the temperature variation, and you name it, everything is there. The problems are there. So I'll talk to those things in detail if you want. So this is the I'll just the building this project in IIT when you are in college at the age of 18, 19, and then actually launching it. That was the journey. That's why the title, the dream, journey, purpose. And the session's title is the success story of the Pratham. It's more like a failure story of the Pratham, that we failed so that we succeed at the end. So it's just the last part when we say the success story. In the process, we have failed a lot. So that is actually the story. The end is a very small part. So I'll show you the video of launching. That is the most fun part. So this is the video. This is the show that the Doordarshan puts up on the day of launch. So this is our satellite. So this is our satellite. It's on the Doordarshan. The day the launch is there, the satellite is being launched. Our satellite was launched with one other satellite, university satellite. So there is some audio going on. We don't have mic. So yeah. So these are the 7 seconds to the lift of our satellite is sitting at the top. So just so satellite sits here. Okay. Everything rest of it is the propellant, the fuel and oxidizer and all the electronics, and only the top part, which is around 0.1% of the total weight, is the satellite weight. So everything has to go there, and then the rest, the work of the rest of it is to take it to there. So this is your satellite sitting on the top of the rocket, which is some 200-400 crore rocket, and on the day of launch, and you have been dreaming of this moment for last 8 years, 10 years, day in and day out, and finally your satellite is being launched. Can you imagine the thrill at the age of 22? Your satellite, your work, which you have put it on day in and day out, is actually getting launched. So this
Sure.
is
So the
this,
feeling isn't there. Sorry for that.
yeah. So this is your, so this is the satellite, the location, the currently the blinking dot you can see is where the satellite is, and this guy is actually deciding our future, whether the satellite is now about to get ejected from the rocket. And then he says Pratham separated. It will flash. And so this was the celebration that we had in our IIT. Only professors were allowed in the VSSC, in the Sriharikota, where actually the launch was taking place, and the rest of the team was in IIT celebrating. So you can see the whole bunch of people. This is the director. So when we started, so we had a few goal. Of course, was to build a satellite, but not just to build it to ourselves. Our aim was to build it so that we were fortunate enough. Can we give it to some other university who don't have this capacity to build a satellite, don't have capacity to completely take up the challenge, invest so much of money? So we initiated something called as a social goal. As you can see, these were the three big design aspects. One is the design. The continuity is, of course, we will build one satellite, but what about what after the next? So continuity plan was there for the satellite, so that once the one team goes out, the next team knows what has happened, and then they continue. Not just the for one project, but after the one satellite, the next satellite also they can continue. Social goal. This was very close to our heart. We under this project, what we did was to uh, the satellite required more number of ground station, the station on the ground to receive the signal, so that we can get lots and lots of signal over the India. So that was the funda. So through social goal, we taught lots and lots of university to actually build the ground station at their location, their place. We conducted the workshop. We gave them all the technical help. We gave them all the technical blueprint so that they can go back. Except money, we provided everything else and get the money
Awesome.
from their university. Thank you.
Awesome.
So for that, we conducted around 6 to 8 workshop. All the people came. We make arrangement for them to stay in IIT, conduct the workshop, hands-on, help them in testing. That was fun experience. By attending the workshop, there has been university who actually started building the satellite. So that is the result. That was the revolution. The launching of the satellite was not the main aim. The main aim was the actual other university starting the project of their own. So they could dream, they could achieve, they could thought, okay, these people are there, they can help us, and then they are there who can help us to convince our management, and we actually convince some of the university management that please let the student build the satellite so that, and we will help you. Their biggest worry was how can the student do. We said we are there. So then they started. So COEP is the one example that they started after our satellite, and then they succeeded. The IIT Kanpur was the one. Then MIT Manipal in Manipal near Mangalore, they are the one. And then the BISAT who actually got launched, they also got the inspiration. So we are proud saying that we are the pioneer in the spreading the space enthusiasm throughout the country, especially in this university.
Mhm.
So that was the one of our biggest achievement. Yeah, so that was one of our biggest achievement. Talking about few technical things that they, so as you know, we know payload. We have something that for which we build a satellite. Then there is electrical subsystem like neurons in our body. We have electrical subsystem, mechanical subsystem too. Like we have bones. Our body has a bone. Satellite needs to give the structural support. So communication, we need to communicate with the ground what is happening there. You need to know on the ground, so communication is there. And then the control system to point satellite in particular direction. So control subsystem was there. So the payload was to measure what is happening in that ionosphere. So that is a small simulation. That is a Faraday rotation method that was there. So so this was the electric. So this has been the life for almost not just the electrical, but all the people. Code, test, debug, sleep, eat, repeat. Do this continuously, not just one day, not just one semester, not just 1 month, not just 1 year, 8 years. We started the project in 2008, and then it got launched in 2016. It's actually 8 years, and that was, and then more than 100 IITian students who worked on it some time or the other. Some people work for 5 years, some people work for 1 year, some people work for more than that. So that has been the case with the project. So this is how satellite is been. This is the satellite, and this was the signals. Finally, we received. Can you play the signal? Oh, yeah, you wonder. So the sound is not there. So this is the signal that satellite is sending. You can see, read it here. Pratham, IIT Bombay student, satellite VU2 BUG. This is the signal that satellite was sending when it was on in the space. So the receiving this signal was the moment when our life
I
changed
would like you
finally.
to hold on that moment
Okay.
because, yeah, yeah,
Okay, we'll talk about those
sure.
later. So the control, all the things similar, sense, actuate, simulate, sleep, eat. So he was the founder. So how it started? So everyone must be thinking how it started. That is also a story that we will come to.
Yeah.
So over the period around 7 generation, 8 years, 7 project manager have been there. We have a rigorous project management system. We have rigorous system engineering. It's not a simple system that can easily build and actually go on. We'll discuss those things in detail. How can we achieve something of this scale at this level? Few things are similar to agile principle. Somehow we'll find a correlation. Yeah, so this was some few layouts inside. There are many more things. SolidWorks model. Yeah, and then this is the ground station, and then there are lot many things on the ground under the ground station where lots many control station controlling of the ground station, collection of the data is being done. So this was and under the social goal, not only India, we collaborated with a foreign university. IPGP has been one of them. It's in Paris. So our team got to visit the Paris, and then they came here. We had a collaboration in terms of building a ground station. So they built a ground station for us in Paris, and then we said we'll share the data with you. So that was a mutual agreement. So yes, this is a brief technical, extremely like 0.5% of what we do. So I think I didn't gave
Yeah.
lots of information for the simple reason because we want to continue the session, and it's open for you to ask what happened, how it started, and everything whatever you want.
Sure. So, guys, yeah, please take a stage. Yeah. Okay, I have a very bigger question to all of you, especially when I go to any of the company or something like that. When we are starting a project, there are so many questions about it. We do not have a skills. We do not have project management experience. We do not have the infrastructure available. Right? Familiar with it? Yeah. Awesome. And on top of that, we change, especially in IT, we switch the company because we don't get paid enough. Familiar situation? Okay, now I have a question to these three guys. I heard, I don't know whether it's true, you are neither given any grades for this, you are neither being paid for this, you are neither given an extra time for this, okay, and you are actually working post dinner maybe, sometimes up to 2 a.m., post 8 a.m. Is it true?
No, most every time. Every time we were working till 2.
Awesome. Okay, it goes to you guys now. What is the motivation for them? You stop it. What is the motivation for them? Why should they do it? No grades, no money, no extra time. They believe in purpose of doing this thing. Okay, awesome. Passion, dream. Okay, what else? Social cause. But why a student should work? I mean, think of a social cause. I mean, they're in IIT, they should get their grades and then move on. Learning. Okay, so these are the motivating factors, right? Yeah, really?
You are not normal.
Do you mean to say something? They're not
Something is wrong. Something is wired differently.
super people? Superhuman beings. Yeah. Wow, they're super normals. Okay, so let's hear from them. Guys, who are you? Please.
Yeah.
And why?
Starting with you. Absolutely no superhuman. We are as normal as anyone. I am from Marathi school. Okay. 85% in 10th. Barely qualified 75% on the 12th. So I'm qualified as a normal, is it?
Woo!
That's what I'm trying to understand. What is that? I mean, come on. No, that's the whole point.
Woo! Awesome. Yeah, you can go to them. Yeah.
That's the whole point. If you think, if you put on 6 years of effort, you can sit here. Okay. See,
So probably he was. These guys were student and they didn't really have home loan. They were not married. Oh, okay. Is it the thing? Okay. So what motivates you?
I think there are a few things. Of course, the passion and this passion, knowledge, everything is, of course, important.
Yeah.
The one thing is, every time that rocket used to go, I was from aerospace background. He is also mechanical. So similar work. Everything that the big candle lights up and then that goes onto the space, and then the vibration you can actually feel sitting in front of TV and the room, and then the sheer joy. That is contagious. Okay. What was the best human adventure that we had in the last century? Anyone? The biggest human adventure we had in the last century? Yeah, that is that is the funnest part. Didn't that inspire the whole next generation and give them hope that okay, if we can go to the moon, we can do anything. There is something not going there has another reason. It's a money. Okay, why not? Maybe thing. But yes, going there was the biggest step, and something similar was for us. Like you are in a college, you have opportunity. You are people expect you to do the good thing, and then we were equipped. Okay, why not do something that is actually very interesting? That was a simple feeling, but the feeling was feeling was important just to get in, and at least initial few months. But the biggest thing that kept us going for so long was the mission that the we want to put something of where we have something that we have touched with our bare hand or with the gloves that is there rotating. We can tell our grandchildren, look, I built something and that is there. And then the team. It's always about the team, the people with whom you are working.
Yeah.
The
I would also come to your project management question later on.
Yes.
Yeah, so I would like to stop you here. Yeah, okay. Ashthesh, what do you feel about it? I mean, what was your motivation? Why you should actually give that much time rather than studying for your typical IIT grades and then getting flying colors and then going to some financial company and serving some company in US or something like that and getting a lot of money? Why did you do that? You were also not knowing whether you will get the result in that time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Why did you do that?
So so first of all, so I am basically from Lucknow. So the first reason is same. So every time we used to see on DD National, we used to see a rocket launch. Adrenaline rush was there. कि भाई ये तो करना है एक बार life में. And not just me. I think all my friends wanted. But धीरे धीरे I don't know, when we grew up, people started partying. मतलब बचपन में सबको astronaut बनना था, सबको rocket बनाने थे. But as we grew up, many of, I think 90-95% of my friends didn't follow their passion or went for the chase of money, fame, I don't know what. But the basic was same, that when that rocket lifted off, that adrenaline rush was something that ये करना है life में, अगर ये नहीं किया तो क्या किया. So it all started from there. When I came in, so I saw that the only space thing happening in the college was this Pratham thing. So I joined Pratham in the 4th year. So Pratham was 8 years. I joined in the 4th year and then worked for four years. So there I gave the recruitment exam. So I'm basically from mechanical engineering department. So, but I gave all the papers, mechanical, electrical, because I was like, I want to do something. It doesn't matter which department I get. And then I was recruited for electrical engineering, work in uh, satellite, which was more frustrating because we have courses of mechanical engineering. So I can relate to those, but how do you cope up with something which you are not studying? So it's an extra effort. You have to go to run to some electrical friend and understand how does it work, and then actually make it work also. So, but what? So, and it's not that I didn't get frustrated. These guys know that how much pain I've given them because I got frustrated so much. It had around 10,000 lines of code, and then
Oh,
so yeah,
IITians also get frustrated, huh? Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay, okay. So that's normal, right?
So actually, I was able to relate a lot to today's session where people talked about coders, testers, and people
Yeah.
fighting about the design team fighting with the development team. And so there was some sir who was talking about technical debt and then organizational debt. So I was getting a deja vu that all these things in some minute form I've seen in this project at such an early stage, which right now the professionals are also trying to solve through agile thing. Yeah, so those things were great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, good. Manvi, your words are really, really important to us, especially in this country when we feel that we need to give a little more status to female. Okay, so your words are really, really important. Please. Yeah. Did you mute it by any chance? Yeah. Guys, help.
I don't really agree because every time in our mythology we had a problem, we rushed to Devi. Okay. So,
Thank
so
you.
I think that is the only country that we have known has that kind of mythology. So if you are thinking that America is a great, they didn't win the Hillary. Okay, they didn't vote to Hillary. So you judge, you are the judger. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was really great.
Um,
I
the
hope it
the
was.
thing that kept me going. So I told you initially that.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Before you say kept going,
Yeah.
why did you start? Why
Okay,
did you go there?
okay.
Yeah.
So, similar to Ashtesh, I also wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to work in aerospace industry. The same kind of adrenaline rush I used to have in me. But the the thing is, I got a lead that you can become an aerospace engineer and then you can probably think of becoming an astronaut. That is the lead. Okay, I thought of being an aerospace engineer and then I started preparing for JWD. I got in the first instance so JWD gives you two chances. So for the first time I got the selection, but I was not getting aerospace engineering. So I thought of appearing again. My uh, trust me, my whole family, except my father and mother, my whole family was like they were telling my parents and me, your girl is totally stupid. Why is she doing the aerospace engineering? Has no scope in India. Only ISRO is doing something because those time in 2011, ISRO was developing kind of. It was not very much in news. So everyone in the family was not very supportive. So your girl is totally stupid. She should either take electrical. Mechanical is not for girls. So either she should take electrical or coding if she is getting somewhere in an IIT or in any other IIT. So I appeared again. I came in. I cleared aerospace engineering. I came into IIT. From my first year onwards, the day I come in inside IIT, we were when we enter into IIT, every fresher is given a short video what is going on in the IIT. So in the video we were shown about Pratham. So that day inspired me. Look, I made the right decision. I came here. This is what I wanted to do. And my father was sitting beside me, and he was he was a bit shaky. Oh, this girl again got mad. She just now entered aerospace engineering, and now she is planning to get into the Pratham team. She will definitely going to ruin her grades.
Yeah.
So things started going. Uh, After 1 year, the Pratham team renewed they started they had a recruitment test. I appeared for it, and the things started from that day onwards. But trust me, I have never thought of becoming the project manager. I have never started with the feeling that I will be the leading one. I will be the one who will launch the satellite. I have only started with the feeling that I, I being an IIT and I being an engineer, I have to, since I have a dream of doing something in aerospace, in space industry, I should contribute in this project. When I leave from here, I should have an impact. Being a girl, being an engineer, being an IIT, I should have such impact that my juniors will at least uh, at least talk about me. So that was the feeling that I have. So that's why I joined the team. And with the guidance of Tushar and other seniors, I became the project manager. The later thing
Yeah.
simply fall into the place. I just working as per their guidance. So that's how it happened.
Awesome. Awesome. So guys, and one unique thing, these project managers were helping this project even when they left IIT, right? And we're on to your own startups. Why did you do that? Yeah. Anyways, any questions? Yes. There are very eligible people in this audience, please. There is also Mandar Kulkarni from USA who has done a webcast for Pune folks who made the satellite, right? So Swayam, yeah, awesome. So if you have any questions, please, yeah.
So I don't have a question, I have a comment. I'm
Yeah.
hearing you explore this idea of motivation.
Yeah.
And this discussion about ordinary versus extraordinary. I think what we should see is that ordinary people will find it very natural to ask, why did you do it? And the extraordinary people will respond by saying, why not? So they will say, why not? They don't need to be asked the question, why? And I think that separates. And that's why they're doing what they did. And that's why we are in the industry doing what we do.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Any questions, guys? Yes, that was a really good saying. Yeah, Leah, please.
Did you guys implement any process or a best practice? Sorry. It's not
Typical
relevant, but
question. IT questions, right?
yeah, it is.
Yeah? Okay.
Just wanted to know.
Typical, yeah. 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 The best question everyone would think of. Do you have mic? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we do, because you can see the scale. Okay, so many system interacting together. You have a controls, you have communication. If you have engineering background, you'll understand this world. You have communication, you have electrical, you have power, you have solar panels who will provide the power. You have a control, you have actuator, you have a sensors to actually could do the control and give the exact thing, right? So you need some system, because it's not uh, one one uh, one discipline. It's a multiple disciplinary. Everything that is there in IIT is required to be put it. So that's where something called as we call it as a system engineering. Okay, this was the term coined way back at the start of the century. Motorola used it, but the NASA perfected that whole technique. So same thing. How did in 10 years of time, how could NASA put a man which no one before thought of, actually able to put man into the onto the moon and return back safely? So they did it in the parts, and then they had a systematic process. Something similar that we did. It's called as a system engineering process. It's more or less similar thinking like what we maybe agile thinking or design thinking, what they call is an MIT media design workshop. But what separates it's very focused around technology, first thing. But it, along with the technology, take cares of the people managing project management and all those things. So project management is for the rest of the for non-technical stuff, and then the system engineering is for the technology stuff. You will have one person who is working on the structure and say, look, I want my satellite weight is coming out to be say 10 kg, 15 kg. The system engineer say, no, we have to launch only 10 kg. We have permission for only 10 kg. You have to do something. Okay. Then power guy will say, I want to put 10 batteries. The weight person say, no, the 10 kg is the maximum weight we are allowed. I cannot put 10 batteries. You have to do something, right? So there is so much of conflict that will come definitely. अपने घर में नहीं होता यार, यहाँ पे तो और हर एक अलग अलग सब सिस्टम के लोग हैं, ठीक है. So that conflict needs to be solved by the system engineer. Is the guy who sits on the top, not really top, but at least from the technology hierarchical point, who oversees what is happening multidisciplinary wise, all the subsystem. He does not know everything in the detail for each subsystem. When I say subsystem, electrical, communication, controls, mechanical, all are the subsystem. Software, onboard computer software is one of the subsystem. He sits on the he oversees what is happening at the system level, okay, and then it's a job of each subsystem head to take care of those subsystem. And in the event of conflict or anything, the system engineering along with the project manager will sit together. All the team will sit together and discuss what needs to be done. Okay, you have to take some decision, did something, build on something. That's where the clear mission statement comes into the picture. What is the mission? What exactly you are trying to achieve? Okay, so that's very important. So we had a four-fold mission statement. We wanted to build a satellite. We wanted to launch the satellite to measure the TEC. We wanted to involve other universities in building the process, and we wanted to continue the satellite building process. Each point was had a huge impact on what we did. Maybe it delayed our process because we wanted to do everything. So almost every soldering that we ourselves did, but that was the fun. That was what we decided. That was we chose for. Did I
Okay.
answer you?
So its processes everywhere. Probably the only difference that they had, maybe they didn't have the quality management system or something like that, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I
Coming
think
to
Tathagat
quality
was having-
management.
yeah.
Okay. Coming to quality
Yeah.
management. I'll tell you why quality is what you're saying is important. You get, so if you are building a car, your car is going and it stops in between raste mein, and you say, okay, mechanic ko bulaya, theek kar liya, and then you are ready to go. Not with the satellites. You don't have any mechanic unless you are Hubble telescope or International Space Station. You don't have any mechanic going from here to there, tightening the screw, loosening the screw, putting out the connector, not putting the connector. Okay. So quality is the first. It's actually thinking. It's not the subsystem. It's everyone has to follow those things, and we have a rigorous guideline from the ISRO. So it's like you are a 21-year-old. You are talking. You are talking to sir. You are talking to a ISRO scientist. You are presenting your work because your satellite will be with another ISRO's 300 crore satellite, and you cannot. Your screw cannot simply come out of the satellite and hit the other satellite and screw that satellite. Not just the satellite, the rocket. Rocket itself, right? You get it.
Yeah.
You are screwed completely. Trust me. And
Yeah.
one screw at the speed of 7 km/s, you can imagine what damage it can create. It's a havoc. Okay.
Yeah.
So the quality has to be ingrained. And when we are presenting to ISRO, ISRO is known for the quality. Out of all the people in the country, they are the best people to look for the quality. And we had to match their quality limit simply because they won't allow it to enter or present our works before we show them our quality and our systematic process. So that was a huge learning at the age of 21, 22. We were working with the ISRO and trying to match their standard. Of course, it wasn't possible, but still we were trying our best to do that. So quality is also, yes, was there.
Awesome. But our softwares are actually made to have a, once we release it, there is a break fix coming in, right? So, yeah. So
I
yeah.
would like to
So,
add
yeah.
one small instance. So we were going to test our initial mod. Like there are generally two models of a satellite are made. One is the qualification level and one is the flight level. The flight model is generally launched with the PSLV. And the qualification you have with you in your lab. So you do all kinds of testing at the qualification level and to the extreme limits. But for the flight level, you do to a certain limit, little lower than that, and launch it with the PSLV. So we were doing the qualification level testing. So we were first time into the ISRO, like doing some hands-on work inside the ISRO's lab, and Ashtesh might be remembering that. So we were simply keeping the boards like this, all the electrical boards, like we handle in IIT Bombay. We are keeping the boards like this, and one ISRO scientist came And after looking at the boards and we were handling bare hands, so he started scolding, like he simply started scolding. And uh, so that time we didn't realize, like, it's a simple normal board and we have been handling it for last 3-4 years, nothing happened to it. But the day he scolded, that night only our board gone up. So the and the that we had only 2 copies, and so this is was a very small instance. So that day we realized, like, how the small thing can delay your whole process, because one board simply gone, and then again you got the components from the for the to be sold on the different board, then you do the testing again, and then get it verified from the ISRO scientist, and then go for the final testing. It will take another 1 week or 2 weeks, and we have the exams also in our institute. So these things can delay your whole process, whole project life.
Awesome.
So that's why, like, we as a student, I personally agree that we as a student never understood uh, the importance of having a quality in a project. But working on the space system, and particularly and specifically with ISRO, who is known for the quality in India, we learned how a quality can, although it will take time. So it is there is a saying, you need the quality management team when when you don't have time for it. So there is a saying for it. So when you are in hurry, you try to avoid the quality, but that time only the quality matters. So that this is how at each and every instance we have to maintain the quality, and the process will be smoother later on.
So there is quality management system, there is process, there are people, there are defects, there is failure. So it's exactly normal, like IT, right? Yeah. So I think Tathagat has some question. Yeah, please.
So actually, I had a question, but you guys have already answered it, so I don't want to repeat it. I was actually interested to know how has been the journey. You didn't know you got only one shot in 8 years. How did you really do that? So I think you've already given the answer. So I don't want to repeat my question, but you guys are awesome. You guys are rock stars. I just want to compliment you for doing this. I think I sincerely believe that you guys are going to be inspiration for a lot of students in this country. And I look forward to hearing more about your success stories there. Wish you all the best in your own individual journeys as well. I mean, I would love to tell that story to all the students in every college that I meet there. So congratulations and thanks and all the best for that.
Sure. Thank you. As he said, it's an inspiration. I'll come to you. He said an inspiration for students, but I would like, we call them because I want them to be an inspiration for you, because you have certain projects to deliver. There are certain people who will be delivering it. So what is that motivation factor? What is project management for them? They didn't have any skills. Majority of the times in IT, we say that when there is a project, we firstly look for who's this? Experienced project managers or experienced people, something like skills. So what does skill or what does project management mean to you when you were students in first and second year? And this is rocket science, right? This is rocket science, right? Okay, please tell us what is project management for you and what we can learn from you.
So actually, yeah, it's more like a people management. Okay, it's more of a leadership. So when any project manager knows that he is just barely 1 year or 2 year senior to the guy who is working with him, or maybe in the same batch. Okay, so he cannot be bossy for the simple reason he has to be that much sure, and no one can. So IIT people have a huge ego. Okay,
Yes.
you just need to understand.
Exactly what I think.
So this leader's job is to nurture that ego and get the work done.
I'm looking at Shrini.
I think sir is raising hand. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
Sorry.
sorry. Yes, from project management point of view, it was not very, in our case, when we started, it was the first time, okay, anyone in India trying to do that. So ISRO didn't know what much time university will need, and we were also unsure what we will need. So tentatively, it was planned for 3 to 4 years, okay. So that was the idea. We are actually, and in terms of deliverable, there was a contract MOU between ISRO and IIT. ISRO said you will deliver this. ISRO funded, ISRO supported this project from the simple point of view. They want to create more engineers who are capable of doing the space stuff. When we graduate, or when the people who have done the work, if they don't join ISRO also, they will do something of their own. So they they understand this thing, and then the whole Indian community grows. So that is their basic aim of funding or supporting the students. So launch many of the components that were free from ISRO. In terms of deadline, specifically about the deadline, funds and all those things were limited, and all those things were planned. Deadline was there for initially for 3 to 4 years, okay, from scratch, the day it was signed. We are actually at the end of 2000, when we started around 2009, we are actually at the stage where we are able, almost about to launch in 2012, when I was in my third, fourth year. We were actually reached that level. We were in the ISRO door sitting and testing in the final thing, and something happened in our side problem. And ISRO also gave that launching slot to someone else. Okay. So that from our side, our team got graduated. So we were shorted down. We were only barely 3 or 4 people in the left with the team. You will relate it to some of the incidents maybe in the life. And then ISRO has already given that launch slot to another thing. So in that process, we had again discussion with the ISRO. They said, okay, the problem has been on the both the end. We understand your team is gone, so you will need a new team, and then again whole some process of that has to be repeated. So ISRO said, okay, we'll give 2 to 3 more years. You ensure that the team reaches that level and actually finishes the satellite, but simultaneously ensure that the next team, once the satellite is finished, they are equipped with building the next satellite. It should not happen that at the end of your first satellite your team stops working, or there is no one in the team working there. So in the process, we said, okay, we'll do that. That is our one of the aim, as we showed the continuity. So yes, that delay happened, that cost overrun happened. That happens in almost many of the space projects, and one thing for one reason or the other. In our case, we missed lots of things. That's where our learning came. ISRO did few things from their side, so they learned from there. And now any satellite who is being made, or anyone who wants to do the new satellite, they have a clear deadlines. Okay, you have to build it around within the 2 years or 3 years of the signing MOU. Exactly. So that has been learning for ISRO also, and that has been learning for our satellite also. So we learned, we failed. Actually, that's what when we said the success story, it was actually failure story. There was a moment when there were, I told you in 2012, only two to three people. One of them was me, and then there were 2 more people who are about to graduate. I had a couple of one year left. So so it was my task solely to take up a new team, to train them, to bring them to the level that I will be no longer needed. So pass on all the knowledge of that happened in the last 3 4 years when I was in the team to the new team, so that when I leave the college, I won't be the hurdle that the team will be facing for some day-to-day activity or
We
the
call
big
it
question.
knowledge transfer in IT.
Yes, we call it knowledge transfer.
Yeah.
So that is a
Succession
continuity
planning.
point.
Yeah, okay.
So we missed this transition in 2012. So
Yeah.
that was the one biggest learning, that we didn't have a smooth transition in 2012. But then we ensured when I graduated that there is a team in place who is very much capable of launching them.
Okay.
And they are there.
Awesome.
It's as simple as that.
Awesome. So continuous learning. So in order to make sure that time or something like that, we will take last question from Mr. Sunil.
Yes, my question is around team dynamics. You mentioned ego. I think that has a negative connotation, but I have seen that the more intelligent people are, the more opinionated they are. And although you might have a system engineer to resolve engineering related conflicts, normal difference in opinions in terms of team dynamics, how did you resolve those?
That was the biggest after continuity, that is the biggest task of a project manager was. Okay, I think Manvi will answer, and then I'll answer.
It is tough.
Yeah. So that definitely the Tushar is very right. That was the biggest task, and I think in my last 2 years of Pratham, when I was a project manager, I was doing the only task that I was handling is this: solving the issues between the team members, taking care of their frustrations. Because the satellite was for after the Tushar graduated, every year we are saying, no, it's about to launch, it's about to launch, wait, it's about to launch, it will launch this year. So every time we have a recruitment presentation, we say in next 2 months, 3 months, we are going to have the meeting with ISRO and it's going to launch. And we know that we were not lying. We have that we were having that feeling that it will definitely be next 2-3 months. We will be having the meeting and definitely it will launch. But every time we go to ISRO, they raised another quality check, another question, and we came back. Okay, now we have to figure out how to do these things, and then it takes another 5-6 months. So these things were happening in last 2 years. So most of the time we were, I and Ratnesh, other project manager, we were engaged in these stuff only. So the point, so why we were more focused on that part, because till that time everyone in the team was technically very sound. They know how to make the satellite, how to complete it. Now what the problem they were facing were their frustration, their issues, because they are also about to get, like they were in 4th year, 3rd year, they are also about to graduate, they have their placements, their families always complaining them, why are you wasting your grades, you are not getting anything, you're not even getting your name or fame. So these kind of things, these are the tasks of a project manager. You have to come to a level of a friend, you have to come to a level of a
Awesome.
same pain bearer, that we know your pain, we are facing the same thing, we will do it together. So we have to solve those issues. We have to for example, sometimes juniors come to us and ask, like, we have the exam tomorrow and you are saying to finish it by today. So till night after finishing that, what we used to teach them, we used to help them there in their academics also. So apart from their Pratham work, we were not we are not only associated with the Pratham work. So we were engaged with other things also. Like we were in the in a family, we were in the family who are taking care of each and every needs of, so that the work will be smooth, no one will be taking the pain lonely. So that was from my side. I think Tushar will add more.
One point I would like to add. So one important culture they introduced was, so used to have 2 weekly meetings, and the meetings was like from the junior most guy to the senior most, everyone was present in the meeting, all the subsystem, and everyone used to tell their problems. So so initially I was not able to understand why this. So if it's not my subsystem, why should I sit here? So but over time I developed, like it developed mutual respect. Like if one subsystem is facing a particular problem, other subsystem is actually able to see, oh, this guy is facing real problem. So we had that inter-respect within the team was very high. And this was only because we sat together, listened to each other problems, and not just we didn't have just fights ki tum aisa karo, aisa karo. That was one very great
Awesome.
ritual started by them.
We call it cross-functional teams.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
sometimes call it daily stand-up or something like that, yeah? Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it was very small. It is very simple. So, as many great people say, you take care of the team, and team will take care of your product. So it was absolutely simple. So we knew somehow, unknowingly, every project manager, so 7 project manager you saw, for the simple reason they did not attend any MBA, they did not attended any TED talk, or they did not listen to Simon Sinek or anyone, but they knew intuitively because they were facing the real life and death situation कि डायरेक्टर आके कॉल कर रहा है कब होगा सैटेलाइट तुषार सैटेलाइट कब उड़ने वाला है बता अरे करना पड़ता है भाई ये सब चीजें करनी पड़ती है सो starting from going to the therapy session of one of our junior most member to managing the relationship problems of every senior member, and actually having a fight with one of our team members' boyfriend because he was abusing her. We have done those things. If you don't, so so if you do these things, why wouldn't they work for you when you needed the most? And it was not us. So they knew it's their satellite as much as it's anyone's satellite. So it was a simple feeling that it was their satellite. It was simple feeling that I am there for you if something happens. And it came from our professors also, that you do whatever you want. You fail, I am there for you. Okay, you want to order something, take my credit card, order something, I'll take care of the money. We didn't face with those problems. Okay,
Awesome.
so it's like you do whatever you want to do, I am there for you, and keep going. And then just the one day, few minutes of that, the big candle lighting up was the one thing that we worked for together, and that was the life for 8 years before that. It was just the mission,
Okay.
and it was about the people, and it was about the leader. Three things: mission, team, leader. That's it.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. I just have a last question to you guys. Say
One
yes
thing,
or
I'll
no.
add one thing, small thing. We heard Toyota, I think 3 times
Yeah.
today, but we forget to see one simple thing that is day to day around us. If you are from Mumbai, is the Dabbewala. Okay, if you are trying Agile and all those things, Six Sigma, those are okay. Those are things are okay. You don't need to do those things. If you just have that spark, if your people are inspired enough, everything will fall apart. Everything will fall in place if your people are inspired.
Awesome.
Those pe- those people can barely read. They can just barely scribble on the top of the the tiffin box, and then they function as a Six Sigma quality, and then they are the only people who are invited to the princess wedding. No, trust me, it's as fun as that. So they don't have any MBA degree.
Okay.
They have never built a satellite, or they never done the system engineering, agile training, Six Sigma. Those are the big words. You ensure that people are fired enough for a cause, everything will fall in place. That's it.
Awesome.
It's as simple
I
as
have, by that standard, I have just one last question to both of you project managers. Say yes or no. Are you
Okay.
PMP certified?
I am what?
Are you project management professional certified? Yes or no?
Who does that?
You, yes or no?
No, absolutely.
Awesome.
No.
Manvi? Woo, it is not required. Okay.
Only as long as my team thinks I am a project manager, I don't care about any certificate.
Awesome. Okay, guys. So thank you so much. Lots of information, and we have these guys hanging around today also up to seven kind of, you can openly meet them, and post 7 they are also into the networking dinner. So if you want to hang around, please. Thank you so much.
Small. So I work for an NGO called We Clothe Them. There is a poster outside, just a small 2 second.
Yeah.
So we gather the clothes from corporates, houses, and all those places where we can get the clothes, old clothes, and give it to the kids. So if we do it in Mumbai, anyone who is in Pune interested starting the chapter in Pune, please contact anyone all willing to volunteer. Please contact anyone who knows NGOs all across the Pune, Mumbai area. Please contact. We need all kind of help. Not for us, for kids. Thank you.
Guys, can we get some clothes if you have tomorrow? Awesome.
Okay, we have a car.
Thank
We
you.
can take it to Mumbai. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mandar, please. Yeah. Mandar has already done a podcast for Pune satellite team of COEP. So maybe he would like to connect with you.
Just wanted to say that last year I interviewed one of the teams that these guys mentioned from COEP, who did a similar project for Swayam, and their story exactly is the same. So I'm glad that everybody is sharing this story, and they are the pioneers in this student satellite. So nothing can compare with that. Those guys.
Can I call Priya? Awesome. Development is that gap is reduced. Thank you so much.
Very, very small actually. So I'm just saying that, oh my God, we're all seriously, it was so inspiring. I think we should call you for fire up all our advice. So.
It's not over yet, guys. Hang around.